Cincinnati City Council sending a clear message today. They do not want peaceful protesters charged with violating the curfew to have a crime on their records. Local 12's Jan-Michele Levy has more on that story right now, live at City Hall. Jan-Michele, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Kyle. And it's getting pretty windy out here, although the sun is shining. Probably a little bit of that weather moving through the area. This motion passed this afternoon by a vote of 7-2. Council members David Mann and Betsy Sunderman were the only no votes. They said they just don't believe that council should be telling the city solicitor's office how to handle cases. Now, this is all simply a recommendation to the city solicitor. It is not a binding order or decision from the council. Most of the council members said they felt very moved by the protests that have been happening, and that most of these protesters in the city of Cincinnati who were arrested were peaceful, and their only crime was being out past curfew. So the original motion, you'll recall, called for dismissing these charges outright, but after some tweaks and discussions with the city solicitor's office, some changes were made, and there are some guidelines here. For instance, they want the charges dropped only if the protester agrees to not sue the city of Cincinnati. There are other recommendations, including reducing the charge to a minor misdemeanor and having immediate expungement go along with that. And there will be diversion as a recommendation if somebody wants to plead guilty to the charge. These were all things the city solicitor's office said they were thinking about doing with these cases anyway.
I think it's really imperative in this day and time that governments in the United States not only respect the rights of people to peacefully protest, but that we do more than just say it's okay. We find a way to embrace those protests when they make sense.
This is setting a precedent where City Council is going to be interfering with city prosecution in micromanaging cases. These are arguments that should be made in a courtroom and not through City Council.
People were throwing rocks and bottles at us, the Cincinnati police officers. So what in the world are they doing, creating a condition that will make it more dangerous for all of us, the citizens of Cincinnati, and the police officers the next time a curfew is called?
Now, we should mention that these recommendations do not apply to anybody who is charged with a violent crime or something like vandalism or tossing rocks at the police officers. FOP President Dan Hills wanted to speak at today's council meeting. He was not permitted to do so. Public input is not happening right now because of COVID-19. But obviously he's concerned that people will ignore curfews in the future because of this recommendation from the City Council. Reporting live at City Hall, Jan-Michele Levy, Local 12 News. Kyle and Paula, back to you.
All right, Jan-Michele, thank you. Cincinnati Police Chief Elliot Isaac voiced some concerns about dismissing the charges outright yesterday. However, he was supportive of diversion and other ways to resolve the cases.